So good morning to all. In yesterday's class already we discussed about SSB modulators, SSB modulation techniques and the advantages and disadvantages and comparison of all those techniques. So in today's class we go to next topic, that is the demodulation of SSB waves. Demodulation of SSB waves. So there are two types of demodulation techniques. The first one is coherent detection method, second one is envelope detection method. So note down, two types of demodulation techniques are: first one coherent detection method, second one envelope detector method. Now put aside heading coherent detection method. Coherent detection method. Already you know what is meant by coherent detection method. The main key point in coherent detection method is the transmitted carrier signal frequency and phase is same as received carrier signal frequency and phase. So that is the synchronization is done between transmitted carrier and received carrier. So the carrier which is used at the receiver side must maintain same phase and frequency of transmitted carrier. So that is the meaning of coherent. So it is also called synchronization. Synchronization. So the block diagram of coherent detection of SSB wave consists of product modulator, low pass filter. Product modulator and low pass filter. So for the product modulator, already you know what is the input for demodulator circuits. What is the input for demodulator circuits? We give modulated wave. We give modulated wave. Since it is a SSB demodulation, so therefore here we apply SSB modulated wave. SSB modulated wave. So where this circuit is put here, the circuit is entirely placed in the placed at the receiver side. At the receiver side. So the first block is product modulator. For that product modulator, we apply SSB modulated wave. So our aim is demodulation of SSB wave. Our aim is demodulation of SSB wave. So first note on the block diagram. It consists of product modulator and low pass filter. So in the SSB modulated wave, here we have only one band, that is either upper side band or lower side band. That is the signal consists of only one band. From that one band, we extract the message. We extract the message signal. That is V naught of t. What is our V naught of t here? Original message signal. So for the product modulator, we have two inputs. One is SSB modulated wave and another one is carrier frequency. Already I told you the generated carrier frequency here is maintained same as the transmitted signal carrier. Transmitted carrier signal phase and frequency. The output of product modulator is V of t, which is the product of S of t and C of t, which is the product of S of t and C of t. After passing through low pass filter, here we eliminate the unwanted components. So therefore at the output of low pass filter, we got only SSB wave. Sorry, we got only message signal. We got only message signal. So the output of low pass filter, what is the output of low pass filter here? V naught of t. Yes, correct. V naught of t, which is nothing but recovered message signal. Recovered message signal, that is M of t. That is M of t. Now coming to the mathematical analysis. Take SSB wave signal. That is input signal S of t. Already we calculate S of SSB wave. So what is the signal representation for SSB? AC by 2 into m of t cos 2 pi f ct plus m cap of t sin 2 pi f ct for one band. For other band it becomes minus. So therefore you take plus or minus here. You take plus or minus here. Already in previous classes we observed SSB modulated wave. So what is the representation? S of t equal to AC by 2 into m of t cos 2 pi f ct plus or minus m cap of t sin 2 pi f ct. Here m of t is a original message signal and m cap of t is out of phase signal. M cap of t is a out of phase signal. Now you calculate V of t. You calculate V of t. What is V of t? V of t is output of product modulator, which is nothing but S of t into carrier signal. So therefore you can write it as S of t into cos 2 pi f ct. S of t into cos 2 pi f ct. So substitute S of t. Substitute S of t. Therefore it becomes AC by 2 cos 2 pi f ct into this is S of t. M of t cos 2 pi f ct plus or minus m cap of t sin 2 pi f ct. Everyone must do the analysis. You multiply AC by 2 cos 2 pi f ct into inside parameters. So from that we have AC by 2 m of t cos square 2 pi f ct cos square 2 pi f ct and multiplied with first parameter plus or minus AC by 2 m cap of t cos 2 pi f ct into sin 2 pi f ct. Cos 2 pi f ct into sin 2 pi f ct. So cos pi theta 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. So in place of cos square theta, you have expand 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. So therefore here we got AC by 2 m of t into 1 plus cos 2 into theta. What is theta? 2 pi f ct. So therefore it becomes cos 4 pi f ct by 2 plus or minus AC by 2 m cap of t cos a sin b sin 2 theta by 2 cos a sin b sin 2 theta by 2. So therefore what is theta here? 2 pi f ct. So therefore sin 4 pi f ct by 2 sin 4 pi f ct by 2. After that you multiply. You multiply into inside parameters AC by 2 m of t into 1 by 2. So that means it becomes AC m of t by 4 plus again AC by 4 m of t into cos 4 pi f ct cos 4 pi f ct, and from those two terms, that is this second term and this third term, you common AC by 4. If you common AC by 4, then the signal becomes m of t cos 4 pi of ct plus or minus m cap of t sin 4 pi of ct. Any doubt in this expression? Just you multiply AC by 2 m of t into inside parameters. Then you have AC m of t by 4 plus again when we multiply with second parameter, it becomes AC by 4 m of t into cos 4 pi of ct. Just you multiply in the next step. After that you common. Common AC by 4. Then the signal becomes m of t cos 4 pi of ct plus or minus m cap of t sin 4 pi of ct. If you observe this expression, what is m of t? Where we have m of t? At the first term. So that is AC by 4 m of t. It is a wanted signal. But in the remaining signal we have a carrier frequency. We have carrier frequency that is cos 4 pi of fct and sin 4 pi of ct, since it is a high frequency. So therefore there is no need to extract that signal. So therefore we pass it through low pass filter. We pass it through low pass filter. So all this parameter is considered as unwanted signal. All this parameter is considered as unwanted signal. Since it contains high frequencies combination, so therefore here we use a low pass filter. With the help of low pass filter, we eliminate high frequency component. So therefore, the output of product modulator is applied to low pass filter to eliminate this unwanted signal. So therefore, at the output of low pass filter, we have AC by 4 into m of t. But in our block diagram, output of low pass filter is considered as V naught of t. Therefore, V naught of t is equal to AC by 4 into m of t. So this is our message signal with the scaling factor AC by 4. This is our message signal m of t with the amplitude of AC by 4. So once you observe the block diagram, the demodulation of SSB wave mainly consists of product modulator and low pass filter. So for the product modulator, here we apply two inputs. One is a softy, that is SSB modulated wave, and another one is carrier signal. Here one important point is the used carrier frequency at the transmitted side is same as the carrier frequency which is used at the receiver side. So therefore, we must maintain phase and frequency is same for the transmitted and received carrier signals. So that is here we must have synchronization. Otherwise, here we got an error, phase error, which is represented with phi. So after that, the product modulator output is applied to low pass filter. To eliminate the unwanted components or high frequency components, we pass V of t through low pass filter. At the output of low pass filter, we got our original message signal. So from the mathematical analysis also, you observed that point. Already you have S of t, that is SSB modulated wave, which is the combination of m of t and m cap of t. Here m of t is the original message signal and m cap of t is out of phase signal. So to got V of t, we multiply S of t into C of t. So after expansion and cancellation, so here we have the final expression, that is AC m of t by 4. If you observe the parameters, it is a wanted signal. And if you observe this parameter, it is unwanted signal. So to remove that unwanted signal, we pass through low pass filter. After passing low pass filter, the output signal becomes AC by 4 into M of t. So here we have a message signal with a scaling factor of AC by 4. But practically it is not possible to maintain same phase and frequency. But practically it is not possible to maintain transmitted carrier signal phase and frequency is same as received signal carrier phase and frequency. There is some small error. That error is represented as phi. So that's why at the carrier signal you considered with phi. Now draw the block diagram by taking the phase error as phi. Since here it is practically not possible to maintain same carrier phase and frequency. That small error is considered as phi. Now again, you do the same calculation, you do the same analysis by considering the carrier as cos 2 pi fct plus phi. Now you continue the analysis by taking carrier as cos 2 pi fct plus phi, where phi is a phase error. Take S of t, and V of t, what is V of t? S of t into cos 2 pi fct plus phi. Again, you multiply this parameter into inside parameters. It becomes AC by 2 M of t cos 2 pi fct into cos 2 pi fct plus phi, plus or minus M cap of t sin 2 pi fct into cos 2 pi fct plus phi. Are you follow with me? Coming to the next step. Expand in the form of cos A, cos B, cos B. And you expand sin A, cos B. Cos A, cos B. Here A is 2 pi fct, B is 2 pi fct plus phi. So therefore, cos A, cos B, cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. So what is A plus B? 2 pi fct plus 2 pi fct plus phi. So therefore, it becomes 4 pi fct plus phi. 4 pi fct plus phi. For cos A minus B, 2 pi fct minus 2 pi fct minus phi. So therefore it becomes cos phi. Similarly, sin A plus B. Sin A cos B, sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. So therefore it becomes sin 4 pi fct plus phi plus sin phi. Now you write cos phi and sin phi terms at one side. So therefore it becomes m of t cos phi plus or minus m cap of t sin phi. M cap of t sin phi. And you write another two parameters, that is m of t into cos 4 pi f ct plus phi plus or minus m cap of t sin 4 pi f ct plus phi. So from the above expression, what is the desired signal? This one. We have carrier frequency at this term, that is in the second part. So this is unwanted signal by passing through low pass filter. We got the desired signal. That is nothing but AC by 4 into m of t cos phi plus or minus m cap of t sin phi. What is the difference between previous case and this case? In the previous case, if there is a phase error phi equal to 0, we got directly the message signal AC by 4 as AC by 4 into m of t. In which situation? In which situation? If there is a perfect synchronization between transmitted carrier and received carrier. That is phase error phi equal to 0. In that situation, we got AC by 4 into m of t. But here, practically it is not possible. We have phase error phi. In that situation, what is V naught of t? So m of t into cos phi. M of t into cos phi plus or minus m cap of t into sin phi. So that is, here we have some phase error. So this is the drawback in this method. That is, if phase error phi equal to 0, we got perfect message signal. But if the phase error is not 0, that is non-zero element, then we got a phase error at the output side signal. So that is the drawback of coherent detection. Now we go to another technique, second technique, that is envelope detector method. Simply you does not follow by seeing the PDF. You must do the analysis part in your notebook. Now put as a heading, second method, that is envelope detector method. So this is the block diagram for envelope detector. So the first stage itself consists of S of t. By adding the S of t to local carrier. So local carrier already you know at the receiver side. Here we again generate a carrier frequency. That carrier frequency is AC cos 2 pi FCT. So in this method, the SSB signal is demodulated by adding local carrier to S of t. After that, it is passed through envelope detector. So at the output of adder, we consider the signal as V of t. V of t, which is the summation of S of t and AC cos 2 pi fct. So after passing envelope detector, the signal becomes V naught of t, that is nothing but original signal. That is nothing but original signal. Now coming to the mathematical analysis, consider the SSB wave. Consider the SSB with upper side band. Consider the SSB with upper side band. If we consider both side bands, then the signal becomes, then the sign becomes plus or minus. But here we consider only upper side band, SSB with upper side band. Therefore, we directly written the sign as negative. Negative. So take the SSB wave. Take the SSB. Already I told you SSB, another name is SSB with a suppressed carrier. It can be written also as SSB SC. So that is single side band with suppressed carrier. So therefore S of t equal to m of t cos 2 pi fct minus m cap of t sin 2 pi fct. This is upper side band. Upper side band. If you consider lower side band, the sign becomes plus. The sign becomes plus. And take the local carrier signal. Why it is called local carrier? It is always generated from local oscillator. Therefore, it is considered as local carrier. It is considered as local carrier. So therefore, C of t equal to AC cos 2 pi fct. AC cos 2 pi fct. Now, you calculate V of t. What is V of t? At the output of summate, at the output of adder. That is S of t plus AC cos 2 pi fct. So therefore, the resulting signal V of t is equal to S of t plus AC cos 2 pi fct. S of t plus AC cos 2 pi fct. You substitute S of t. You substitute S of t. It becomes m of t cos 2 pi fct minus m cap of t sin 2 pi fct plus AC cos 2 pi fct. Now, if you common cos 2 by fct from this term and this term, cos 2 pi fct, then we got m of t plus AC. That is, you write in phase components at one place and out of phase component at another place. So therefore, the signal becomes cos 2 pi fct into m of t plus AC. M of t plus AC minus m cap of t sin 2 pi fct. M cap of t sin 2 pi fct. So in the AM detection method, already we discussed the envelope detector. So what is the envelope detector inside circuit? Inside we have a capacitor. That is, inside we have a diode and filter. It is a combination of diode and filter envelope detector. So for AM demodulation, we use the envelope detector technique. So the circuit itself consists of a nonlinear component, that is diode and filter. And the output of diode is connected to filter. So therefore, from that combination, we detect the envelope. We detect the envelope. So for mathematical expression, the output of envelope detector can be written as in phase component square plus out of phase component square. Square root of in phase component square plus out of phase component square. So for mathematical analysis, whenever the signal is passed through envelope detector, we can find the signal as V naught of t equal to, what is V here? Output of envelope detector is considered as V naught of t. So that V naught of t can be considered as square root of in phase component square plus out of phase component square. What are the in phase signals here? If you observe the first component, that is first parameter, this is in phase. This is in phase. And if you observe this one, that is m cap of t, this is out of phase. Cos 2 pi f ct is in phase signal, sin 2 pi f ct is a out of phase signal. That is after 90 degrees phase shift, here we got this signal, sin 2 pi f ct. Therefore, this is considered as in phase signal and this is considered as out of phase signal. Now take in phase component square. In phase component square. So what is the in phase component here? M of t plus AC. So therefore you write AC plus m of t whole square plus, what is out of phase? Out of phase is m cap of t. Out of phase is m cap of t. So therefore m cap of t whole square. To calculate the envelope detector output, we considered the square root of in phase component square plus out of phase component square. So in phase component square is nothing but AC plus m of t whole square. AC plus m of t whole square, this one. And out of phase is nothing but m cap of t. M cap of t whole square. So now you expand in terms of a plus b whole square. We got AC square plus m square t plus 2AC m of t. 2AC m of t plus, for squaring of this component, it becomes m cap square t. M cap square t. Now, after that, already you know m of t, that is message signal frequency, is very much less compared to carrier signal. So therefore, you can consider it as m square of t is very, very less compared to AC. And it is also considered as m cap square t is also very much less compared to AC. Why here we take these assumptions? Already you know message signal is very, very less compared to carrier. So therefore, m square of t parameter is far less compared to AC. Similarly, m cap square t is far less compared to AC. By taking this assumption, the above equation becomes V naught of t equal to root of. So therefore, we neglect m square of t and m cap square of t. So then for the above equation becomes AC square plus 2AC m of t. By neglecting these two parameters, we got another two parameters, that is AC square plus 2AC m of t. AC square plus 2AC m of t. If you common AC square, it becomes 1 plus 2 m of t by AC. If you common AC square, it becomes 1 plus 2 m of t by AC. Now, take the AC square out of the root. So therefore, it becomes AC root of 1 plus 2 m of t by AC 1 plus 2m of t by AC. Already you know m of t is very, very less compared to AC. According to 1 plus x whole power 1 by 2, we can written as 1 plus 1 by 2 into x. 1 plus 1 by 2 into x. If you write x as 2 into m of t by AC, 2 into m of 2 by AC, then this expression becomes AC into 1 plus 2 into m of 2 by AC into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Expand this term into in this form. Here x equal to 2 into m of t by AC. 2 into m of t by AC. Therefore, it becomes AC into 1 plus 2 into m of t by AC into, again here we have 1 by 2. So therefore 1 by 2. 1 by 2. If you multiply AC into inside parameters, then it becomes AC plus 2 cancel, AC cancel, m of t. So therefore V naught of t equal to AC plus m of t. What is V naught of t? After passing envelope detector, we got V naught of t. Here AC is nothing but amplitude of carrier, not carrier. So therefore, at the output of V naught of t, here we got only m of t. If you observe the signal here, at the output of V naught envelope detector, we got m of t. It is just amplitude of carrier, not carrier frequency. But what is m of t? M of t is am cos omega mt. So that is full message signal. So in this method also, we generate the carrier with local oscillator. If you observe the block diagram, in this method also, at the first stage, we generate the carrier with local oscillator. Here also, the carrier phase and frequency must be equal to transmitted carrier signal and phase, carrier signal phase and frequency. Otherwise, we got distortion. That is, we must maintain the same phase and frequency, which is equal as transmitted carrier signal phase and frequency. Otherwise, we got distortion. This is also drawback of this circuit. So these are the SSB demodulator types. So in SSB demodulators, there are two types. First one is coherent detection and second one is envelope detection. In envelope detection, the circuit name itself consists of envelope detector. So therefore, the block diagram consists of envelope detector. But after passing of adder, the signal is applied to envelope detector. So at the output of envelope detector, we got m of t plus AC. So these are the demodulation techniques for SSB. Now coming to the another technique, the last technique is vestigial sideband. Vestigial sideband modulation. So up to now you observe the normal conventional AM, that is a double sideband with full carrier, which is also called as DSB-FC. DSB-FC. After that you observe DSB-SC. DSB-SC technique, that is a double sideband with suppressed carrier. After that we observe the technique SSB, that is single sideband with suppressed carrier, that is also called SSB-SC. The next technique is vestigial sideband. So if we go to next technique, that is, we must eliminate the drawbacks of previous techniques. We must eliminate the drawbacks of previous techniques. So here, what is the drawback of SSB? What is the drawback of SSB? In case of SSB signal, we transmit only either upper sideband or lower sideband. Upper sideband and lower sideband. So that is whenever the signal is passed, that is by passing through upper and lower sidebands. Suppose if the carrier frequency is 300 kilohertz. Let us take the carrier signal as 300 kilohertz and our message signal is 5 kilohertz. 5 kilohertz. Then what is upper sideband? Upper sideband frequency? While go to vestigial sideband modulation, first of all, I discuss here the drawback of SSB. Here, what is the drawback of SSB and previous techniques? For that purpose, I explain with some example. Here, let us consider the carrier frequency as 300 kilohertz and message signal as 5 kilohertz. Then what is the upper sideband frequency? 300 plus 5. It becomes 305. And what is the lower sideband frequency? 300 minus 5. That is, it becomes 295 kilohertz as lower sideband. Lower sideband. Similarly, if you take the message signal as 1 kilohertz, then what is upper sideband frequency? It becomes 301. Yes, it becomes 301 kilohertz. And similarly, lower sideband frequency, it becomes 299 kilohertz. That is, the two sideband frequencies are meet at carrier frequency. So that is, there is no perfect isolation between upper sideband and lower sideband. So that is for very less of audio signals, very less of message signal. If the message signal frequency is very, very less, the upper sideband and lower sideband frequencies are meet at carrier frequencies. Are you got this point? If the message signal have very, very less frequency, that is for low audio frequencies, the upper sideband and lower sideband frequencies are meet at carrier frequencies. There is not an isolation between USB and LSB. That is the drawback of this previous techniques. That is the drawbacks of these previous techniques. To overcome this drawback, we go to vestigial sideband. To overcome this drawback, we go to vestigial sideband. ఇక్కడ మనకి ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే, in this technique, we completely pass one sideband along with a trace or vestige of other sideband. Along with a trace or vestige of other sideband. So before going to this technique, you must understood the drawbacks of previous techniques. What is the main drawback of previous techniques? In the previous techniques, for lower message signal frequencies, that is for low audio signal frequencies, the upper sideband and lower sideband are meet at carrier frequency. That is, there not be a perfect isolation between USB and LSB. Already I take with I explain with some example. If the message signal is 1 kilohertz, we got USB as 301 and LSB as 299 kilohertz. So that is, there is a small difference between these two frequencies, USB and LSB. They must coming to carrier frequency in very closer. But if if the message signal is 5 kilohertz or 10 kilohertz, then the spectrum is enlarged. That is, there is a difference between USB and LSB. So in that cases, the previous techniques are not in that situation. The previous techniques are possible. Previous techniques యూస్ చేసి మనం పర్ఫెక్ట్గా సిగ్నల్ని పాస్ చేయొచ్చు సెకండ్ కేసులో అయితే. కానీ మనకి ఎప్పుడైతే మెసేజ్ సిగ్నల్ విత్ వెరీ లెస్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీతో ఉంటుందో, వెరీ లెస్ ఆడియో ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీస్తో ఉంటుందో, అప్పుడు మనకు ఆ రెండు కూడా మనకి ఏమవుతున్నాయి, క్యారియర్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ దగ్గర మీట్ అవుతున్నాయి. యూఎస్బి అండ్ ఎల్ఎస్బి ఆర్ మీట్ ఎట్ క్యారియర్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ. There is not a perfect isolation between USB and LSB. So that is the drawback of previous techniques. To eliminate that one, we go to vestigial sideband. We go to vestigial sideband. It is very, very, very important technique. So this vestigial sideband is, this type of modulation is done in television transmissions. టీవీ సిగ్నల్స్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్లో మనం వెస్టేజియల్ సైడ్ బ్యాండ్ సిగ్నల్స్నే యూస్ చేస్తాం. దిస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ మాడ్యులేషన్ని యూస్ చేస్తాం. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద అప్లికేషన్ ఆఫ్ విఎస్బి. Application of VSB. So what is the VSB? In vestigial sideband, we send the signal, that is we pass the signal with one sideband completely and along with trace or vestige of other sideband. ఇక్కడ ఒక సైడ్ బ్యాండ్ కంప్లీట్గా పాస్ చేస్తాము అలాంగ్ విత్ ట్రేస్ ఆఫ్ అదర్ సైడ్ బ్యాండ్. ట్రేస్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ట్రేస్? నాట్ అంటే ఎక్కువ టైం ఉండకుండా కొంత టైం అయ్యాక డిస్ట్రాక్ట్ అయిపోతుంది అనమాట. అంటే కొంత మనకి యువతలో ఒకసారి స్పెక్ట్రమ్ చూడండి, మీకు తెలుస్తుంది. ఇఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్ ద ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ స్పెక్ట్రమ్, దెన్ యూ కెన్ అబ్జర్వ్ ఈజీలీ. This is frequency. If you take the message signal M of F, this is upper sideband and this is lower sideband. And coming to double sideband with suppressed carrier. Already you know suppressed carrier, therefore it is nothing but there is no carrier FC. So therefore it becomes FC plus FM, FC minus FM. This is the spectrum for DSB-SC. And coming to SSB, here we have FC plus FM, there is no FC minus FM. And if you observe vestigial sideband, there is no carrier. In this technique also there is no carrier. But here we completely pass one sideband. And we pass some trace of another sideband. ఇక్కడ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే స్పెక్ట్రము కంప్లీట్గా మనం యూఎస్బిని పాస్ చేస్తున్నాము, కానీ ఎల్ఎస్బిలోకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, ఎల్ఎస్బి మొత్తాన్ని మనం పాస్ చేయట్లేదు. వీ పాస్ సమ్ ట్రేస్ ఆఫ్ ఎల్ఎస్బి అండ్ దట్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ, ద బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఫర్ పాస్ దట్ సిగ్నల్ ఈస్ కన్సిడర్డ్ యాజ్ ఎఫ్వి, vestigial frequency. And this side you consider the bandwidth as W. So totally the bandwidth required for vestigial sideband is FV plus W. That is vestigial sideband frequency bandwidth plus normal bandwidth. So in case of VSB, we pass one sideband completely, but here we remove some part of upper sideband. ఇక్కడ మనం కొంత పార్ట్ని, ఇక్కడ మీరు షేప్ చూడనమ్మా, ఇది మనం పాస్ చేస్తుంది, ఈ సిగ్నల్ని పాస్ చేస్తుంది. సో టోటల్గా మనకి ఇక్కడ కొంత పార్ట్ని ఎలిమినేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇక్కడ ఎంత పార్ట్ అయితే ఎలిమినేట్ అవుతుందో, హియర్ వి రెడ్యూస్ సమ్ బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ ఫర్ దిస్ సిగ్నల్. ఇక్కడ మనకు కొంత బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ రెడ్యూస్ అయింది. ఇక్కడ ఎంత అయితే బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ రెడ్యూస్ అవుతుందో సేమ్ అదే బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ మనకి ఇటు సైడ్ సిగ్నల్ని పాస్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో టోటల్గా మనకి బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ సేమ్ ఆక్యుపైస్ యాజ్ ఎస్ఎస్బికి ఎంతైతే బ్యాండ్ విడ్త్ రిక్వైర్ అవుతుందో అంతే మనకి రిక్వైర్ అవుతుంది విఎస్బిలో కూడా. కానీ మనకి ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, సిగ్నల్ని లోయర్ ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీస్ దగ్గర ఎఫ్సి దగ్గర మనకి రెండు కూడా మీట్ అవుతున్నాయి, రెండు మనం ఐసోలేట్ చేయలేకపోతున్నాం. సో దాన్ని బట్టి ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, ఇక్కడ కంప్లీట్గా ఒక సైడ్ బ్యాండ్ని కొంతవరకు పాస్ చేసి లాస్ట్లో వచ్చేదాన్ని మనం రెడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇక్కడ ఎంతైతే రెడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నామో ఆ సిగ్నల్ని ఇటువైపు కన్సిడర్ చేస్తున్నాం. So totally completely the bandwidth required for VSB is the same as the bandwidth required for SSB, but here the one complete sideband along with the trace of another sideband is passed. So that technique is called VSB, vestigial sideband. This is used in television transmissions. Similarly, here if we want to pass LSB, then you completely pass LSB, the last part is eliminated. The last part is eliminated. Here, how much is eliminated? That signal is extended into this side. So total completely the bandwidth required for VSB is same as bandwidth required for SSB. You got this point? So in tomorrow's class, I will explain VSB technique, VSB modulators and demodulators again. With this technique, you complete the second unit. This is the last technique.